Hello guys, how are you? And welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about how to install Windows Subsystem for Linux. So before we install Windows Subsystem for Linux, we're going to talk about the reason why you should install it and why you might need Windows Subsystem for Linux instead of installing the actual Linux. So Windows Subsystem for Linux is like a command line that imitates a Linux distribution, but it is actually running on Windows. So the reason why we always want to use the Windows Subsystem for Linux is that it is easy to set up and to operate. And most of the time, you have programs running in your Windows and your files and everything like that. And installing a new operating system, for example Linux, might mess up the old system. So there is always no need of installing the entire Linux on your system. So if you can install Windows Subsystem for Linux, it will save you a lot of pain. And that's what we are going to discuss about today. So if you go to official Microsoft documentations, you will find that there is a well-laid documentation on how to install Windows Subsystem for Linux. But today I'm going to discuss it as a developer who has been doing this for some time and who has experience installing Windows Subsystem for Linux. So the first step is that I want you to go to the search bar, like you just click down here. I'm using Windows 11 to do this, and you can search for CMD and command prompt will appear, and you right click and you select run as administrator. So now I'm running the command prompt as an administrator. So the first thing that you want to do is WSL and then install WSL install, and it's just that I have installed it already and it's running on my machine. But in case you want to do this, then it was to install all of this. And then for some reason the default operating system that it's always installed is Ubuntu. Yeah, it's always installed Ubuntu by default, but you can always do, for you to install an operating system other than Ubuntu, you can always do WSL install -D, then any other operating system that you want to install. For example, Kali Linux, and then you press enter and it starts installing Kali Linux. But I'm not going to install Kali Linux now. That's why I have cancelled that. But the command is WSL again, WSL install -D Kali Linux, and then you can replace Kali Linux with any other operating system that you want to install, and you can install your customized operating system. So I think today we know now how to install Kali Linux, but for some reason my distribution that I've installed is Ubuntu, so we can come up here. So if Kali Linux, you will search for Kali Linux, but because today I'm installing Ubuntu, I can go and search Ubuntu. And just that I have set up the system and I have configured everything. But if you were to come here for the first time, it will ask you for the username and for the password, and to confirm your password, and everything will be set and all right. So as you can see that now I have all the Linux systems working, and I can use Linux command in this command line and everything like that. So imagine that for example, for some reason I was operating, or I was programming in a given environment. Let's say that I was here. Yes, so I can just launch Ubuntu command line from there, and then by searching, and then all of a sudden I can now see everything and do everything that I want to do. So because I want to keep this video as short as possible, thanks guys for watching, and meet you next time.